Hi everybody, welcome to 5-day challenge belief camp. So I have decided to do this challenge because belief is one of the most important things that we can work on to create a cause in the inside to begin producing the life that is congruent with your desire outside. So everything that I speak is a spiritual point of view. And what I mean by that is that I'm going to be talking about energetics. I'm going to be talking about vibration. I'm going to be talking about humans, all of us who are living on this earth from a spiritual point of view and what belief means. And the more you understand clearly what belief is and what belief you're currently operating from, you can change the power source of what you're putting out there. So the life that you're living, experiencing, will come back to you as an attractive force. So today, this is day 1, and I'm streaming this lesson. This challenge is being streamed on my Soul Purpose Facebook group live. And then if you register, you will be receiving this video via email. And if you're subscribed on my YouTube channel, this will be posted on the YouTube channel. So however you can engage, right? You can reply back to the email. If you're joining live through the Facebook, I would love for you to comment. One of the comments that I want to see is, what is the number one thing that you would like to change? You would like to see changed in your life, right? And then what is the belief that you want to cultivate? Because what you want to see change in your life is a result of you not seeing what you want to see in your life, right? So there's a before and after, right? Before is where you're currently at. And by the day 5, or maybe, cultivate a little bit more, and next week, we want to be able to see a shift. And we want to believe that that shift will happen very rapidly. And you can choose to believe so, right? So belief is interesting. The hope and the desire that I have through this 5-day challenge is for all of us to begin diving into this important topic. And this is a challenge, right? This is not a receiving lesson. So you want to be, there's a workbook that I share via the email if you register. And there are different questions that I would like for you to answer, right? Answering the question is important because that's an inner inquiry that you're doing. And then there might be different action steps that you need to take in order to solidify those beliefs, right? So the expectation that I have is for you to dive in fully, watching live or replay, and then maybe watch a couple of times, because sometimes we don't fully pay attention to it. We start doing something else, and then we pay attention to half, right? So we want to listen to in a way that until it speaks to your heart. Yeah. Sometimes we kind of listen from one ear and it goes out from the opposite ear, right? So if you're able to create a time to set the time aside to sit down and begin writing notes, that would be the most effective. And then begin engaging in these questions that I'll be sharing at the end of each day. And to be able to use the platform, any platform, right? The Soul Purpose Facebook group or YouTube, use the comment section or any post to share your answer, share your desire, share your new belief. Because the more you engage in this practice and this challenge, the level of the engagement that you show is gonna directly reflect the belief that you will be able to change. Yeah. Often when things are being done online like this, people tend to sort of do on their own and almost hide it, right? Now, that's not gonna serve you, because then you will be being in this bubble of feeling comfortable, right? And belief is something that we want to challenge to be able to change it. Yeah. So I'm gonna be going live here on my Soul Purpose group for 5 days. It's not gonna be more than 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. And you have a juice each day to be able to work on. So today we're gonna be talking about the anatomy of belief, right? So what is belief? Let's just contemplate this a little bit, right? What is belief? Let's explain and explore from a different angle, right? Whatever that you believe is going to shape your perception. Yeah, perception is the lens that you wear that you see through the world. So what does that mean? Belief leads to your perception. The perception leads to your experience, right? Because whatever the lens that you're seeing through is going to be the determining factor to absorb whatever that is that you are bringing in from the outside for you to experience inside. So whatever that you're currently experiencing is based on your belief. Yeah, that's one way to explain this. That's number one. Now I'm going to explain many different ways. So one of these definitions can learn onto you to becoming curious and being sort of feeling excited about working on it. That's the whole purpose, right? So that's one definition, right? Belief leads to perception. Perception leads to experience. Therefore, belief is the seed of your experience. Yeah. Now, another definition example that I can share is, okay, whenever you have a certain belief, it means that it means true for you. Yeah. So when you stand up and you stay on the ground, right, you don't need to believe gravity, yeah, because you're having this direct experience. So that's not something that we need to believe. I mean, the sun is out. You don't need to believe about it because you have this direct 5 sensory experience, right? So many of the belief, the usage of the language belief, applies to something that is invisible, right? Invisible, right? Do you believe in yourself, right? Then you have some sort of capability, ability, in the feeling about whether you're able to do it or not. Yeah. So belief is something that is true in your experience. It means that it's true for you, right? But it doesn't need to be that way, right? So whenever we want to change the belief, it means that we change what true it will be for us. It's very interesting. We're talking about a very invisible, abstract concept, right? So that's number 2 definition, right? Definition 2 is belief is something that is true for yourself. Yeah. Okay. Let's explain from a little different angle. Every single thought that we think is a product of our belief that we are living in. Yeah. Belief is like a pool, right? It's like a hot tub that we're feeling nice and good or not good, right? So that belief that we're operating from dictates the quality, level, and types of the thoughts that we think. We can never get out of our belief, meaning that we always gonna end up thinking thoughts incongruent with our belief. Yeah, incongruent with our belief. We can never get out of that, belief bubble and think something different. Yeah. So what that really means, and this is the good news though, because it means that we can watch our thoughts to evaluate what belief we're operating from. So what I often say is that, the conscious mind speaks and thinks, right? Has a conceptual understanding in the conceptual mind, right? So the language of the conscious mind is thought, right? The body is where we feel, right? So when you think a certain thought, your body feels. And then when you feel something long enough, it sort of widespread and starts sinking in to this thing called belief. Whatever that you believe, you have felt for a certain period of time. And when you feel something true long enough, you start believing that that is true for you. Yeah. So the relationship between thoughts and feelings and belief is what we want to capture here. Yeah. So I share 3 different definitions or the way in which we can identify what belief is. Definition number 1 is belief is what shapes our perception, the way in which we see the world, we see ourselves. And then the perception dictates our experience. Therefore, belief is the seed of every single experience. Yeah. Definition number 2. Belief is something that we feel true in our life. We feel true in our life. And why do I say feel instead of think true in our life? Because most of our beliefs are at the subconscious level. So subconscious level means that we sort of having that, operation automatically. We are operating in an automatic manner. We are not conscious about every single belief and take action moment to moment. We kind of do in a way that is automatic, right? And your body is the land and the container of feeling, and it's the realm of subconscious. That's why belief is what you feel true in your experience, in your life. Definition number 3 is the relationship between your thoughts and the feelings and belief. When you think thoughts over and over, a certain type of thought, that becomes shapes as a feeling. And when you feel something long enough, that becomes your belief. So this goes 2 ways, 3, right? We can think a certain thought repetitively to feel in a certain way to produce a certain belief, or when you're having a certain belief, you feel about it, you feel like it, right? And then that can produce a pattern automatic thought. So it goes up to top to bottom and bottom to top. Okay, I think I explained the relationship between thoughts, feelings, and belief. We have this workbook, right? So if you want to get the workbook, you are gonna need to register. Let's talk about transmutation of energy. So I did create a video on this specific universal law in my YouTube channel video, I think last week. So when we spiritually speak our life, the outside result, life that we're living in this 3D world. So you're watching this, listening to this, those are the realm of 5 senses, right? You see, hear, smell, taste, touch. The experience that we are creating in life is an after effect, outer result of our inside energy. So take a moment to sort of pause a little bit and begin sensing your life that you are living like right now is a composite of energetics. Yeah. You bought something, you encounter somebody, you have a project, everything is created and you are surrounded by what you're surrounded by based on that energetic resonance. So I often talk about, we are spiritual being. What it means really is that we're energetic being. Because spiritual being means that there is a realm of the invisible, and your intention, your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions and belief, those are the directors of the energetics, right? Those 5 things: thoughts, feelings, emotions, belief, and intention. I'm not going to go too much detail into what the difference between all these, but those are, for me, the 5 directors of the energetics. So depending on where these 5 things you are operating from inside, you are formulating a certain energetic resonance. You're formulating a certain energetic resonance. And depending on that, you are attracting, drawing in the outside circumstance. So what is transmutation of energy? So you have a certain thought and you have a certain feeling, thoughts in your conscious mind, feeling in your subconscious mind. And depending on how you feel like it, you take action. 100% of the time, what you do is what you feel like it, right? Let's say if you don't want to wake up early in the morning, right? And you don't feel like it, but then you ended up sort of forcing yourself to get up. You didn't feel like getting up, but you felt like it, so you did it. Does that make sense? Every single action that you took, somewhere inside you felt like it and you did it. And every single action that you are taking is led by your feeling tone. There's no other way that people take action. You feel like it and you do take action 100% of the time. So then the way in which you are sort of creating that feeling space that is very directly related to your belief, you are attracting all of those, right? So the transmutation of energy means that your outside life that you're experiencing in the 3D is being caused by your thoughts and your feelings and your belief. Your inside is the root cause of the outside. Yeah. Now, you might already know this, and that doesn't mean that you're paying attention to the inside all the time. That's the embodiment piece, right? Like, many people know and understand this sort of information because there are many other people who are expressing that. There are different books and information about it. So intellectually understand, but it doesn't mean that you are actually living what you know. So that's another layer of the challenge, where by us answering these questions that's shared in this workbook, it will help you to understand where you're coming from, how you're operating from day-to-day basis. Does that make sense? So transmutation of energy. So what is it we want to create through this 5 days challenge? It's a belief camp. Yeah. So what we want to do is to begin cultivating the belief that manifests the desire. So these are the questions that I have that I would love for everybody to begin working on. What is question number 1? What is the outcome you want to change the most right now? So people have, area in their health that you want to change, the money, the relationship, the business, the balance, any area, right? It could be, I think it's good to start with one thing. And if you want to have one thing for each category, that is fine. But we want to begin working on shifting the belief one at a time. So we can focus on it, right? So question number 1 is, what is the outcome you want to change the most right now? What is important for you to see something different? Question number 2, what is the belief inside that is reflecting that outside outcome? So I mentioned a little bit a moment ago, there is an existing outcome and there is a outcome that you desire, right? So each outcome has a precursor cause called belief. So what is the belief that you are operating from right now that is causing the existing outcome to be manifested? And then the third question is, what is the belief that will reflect your new outcome, right? The after outcome, the desired outcome, after you see the change, now you picture that in your mind, you write down on paper what the outcome is. What would I be believing about myself, about something needs to shift. At the belief level, something needs to shift in order for the outside to change. So once you identify the existing outcome, which is easy to identify because that's what you're experiencing right now, something that you want to change, right? You begin writing down what is the belief about this? What do I believe about this, right? You start tackling from different angle to assess and evaluate and analyze your belief. Let me give you one thing. So sometimes because belief is intangible, right? You want to sort of feel in a scale, right? Because when, let's say if you're experiencing some outcome that you want to change, right? And then the belief might not be too expansive, You might feel a certain limitation, or you might have a certain perspective that feels resisting or contracted, or you might be feeling stuck and unclear about something. Therefore, the outside outcome is meeting how you are feeling inside. Yeah. So often belief is, you can identify as, using adjective like powerful or strong, or you can imagine somebody who you are feeling inspired by, to sort of contrast those belief level, the feeling level. But also you can ask, how light and easy and expansive you feel about this topic, this outcome. Because when you are feeling heavy and when you're not feeling easy and when you're feeling overwhelmed and challenging, that comes from the belief. The more limited the belief is, the heavier something becomes. Does that make sense? So the language of the feeling is a little bit different. It's more like a easy, light, heavy, resisting, expansive, flow, stagnant. It's a little bit more of the feeling language. And it's important to assess where you're at with that belief about the outcome and belief about yourself in the context of the outcome. So you can little by little, the goal is using these 5 days to make that lighter, easier, and feeling expansive. The more you feel expansive and lighter, the more you will attract the desired outcome, right? So now you have the desired outcome, the existing outcome, and the new belief that you want to form is going to be something different than what you currently have. The more you feel lighter about this topic that you are focusing on, the more expansive your belief is changing into. Yeah. Let's finish today by talking about believing is seeing. That's something that Jesus said. Yeah. Now, seeing is not believing, but believing is seeing, right? Now, you might have heard this statement. That doesn't mean that you are living that statement. Let me give you an example, right? So when you look at the outside world, what is the lack, right? What you want more of, right? Now, are you currently letting that lack of the evidence of sight create your belief inside of you? Yeah. Now, another example of seeing is believing is that many people formulate their belief based on their past present experience. Because I have done it before, I can believe it, right? Now, if you can anchor that strong belief based on your success, that is something that you want to implement and apply and connect. But because you have not done it in the past, that lack of evidence of sight in your memory bank doesn't need to formulate your belief. Because if you formulate your belief based on what you didn't see in the past, you're still operating from the seeing is believing instead of the other way around, right? So it's really important to know the language, believing is seeing, and then begin assessing on a day-to-day basis, how much am I living that way? Am I really believing is seeing? Because when you begin believing that believing is seeing, all you need to do and all we want to work on is to work on cultivating the belief, right? And then if you, this is the most important part for today, for me, yeah? Everything that I do and share to the world, because what do I actually do, right? What are the things that I'm doing through all these, the Facebook group, emails, and YouTube? Simply, what I'm sharing to the world is to let people understand that we are the creator of our own life. Yeah. I mean, you can say, okay, spiritually fulfilled or manifesting as all the fancy language. We put those aside. Simple language, we are the creator. Yeah. And then when you let the seeing dictate our believing, we become a creature. Yeah. Because then the outside is causing the inside to be formulated and begin believing that we cannot, right? So then when we cultivate this formula of believing is seeing, then I'm not seeing in the outside. Okay, I want to cultivate the belief in me first inside. And I don't need to be able to see the evidence of sight in the outside world or in the past present experience. Then we start diving into only cultivating and nurturing the belief. Yeah. And there's another layer to this, right? If you currently don't believe fully, that believing is seen, we want to cultivate that belief about it to be able to begin becoming the creator of our own life. Okay, so I think that's enough for day one. So today we cover the anatomy of belief, and I share 3 definitions of what beliefs are. So if you're watching replay, you want to go back to the beginning, and then please share your one thing that you want to see change, and then what is the belief that you want to cultivate, those 2 things, right? And then I have 3 questions that I share that you can sort of sit down and work on. And if you want this, the physical, which is the PDF, workbook, you want to register, and you will be taken to a platform that you can download this workbook. So tomorrow, day 2, I'm going to be coming on here at the same time, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, to talk about the 2 layers of belief. And understanding these 2 layers of belief also means that you are going to be fully focusing on nurturing, convincing your subconscious mind. And then convincing your subconscious mind is the most important practice that you could do to become the creator. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next lesson.